Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live red, white, and blue patriotic paper bead rolling. I'm so excited to come to you live tonight. I know it's been a while since we've done a live, and I'm committed to doing more of these just so I can interact with you guys. Hi, Lucy. It's so good to see you. If you are here, I know we have a few people on the lives. Go ahead and post in the comment. Let me know that you're here and tell me where you're from. Lynn, hey, from Augusta, Georgia, fellow Southerner. I'm in North Carolina. We have a very, very stormy night. So I'm really hoping that the storms stay away while we're on the live because it was booming thunder and lightning here just a little bit ago. So we're gonna cross fingers that this is gonna stay away while we're doing our paper beading. I'm gonna give you guys just a quick little introduction while some people are popping on. I am Kelly from paperbeadrollers.com, and I have been selling paper bead rolling tools and doing tutorials here since around 2015, 2016. 10 years. Oh, Lucy, you lived here for 10 years? Oh, that's awesome. I actually was born in Ohio and grew up all the way through college in Ohio and then moved down here. And I do absolutely love it here. I think the people are wonderful. And of course, met my husband, he's from here. So yeah, I love living here. So yes, so pop in and say, and if you see me looking this way, I've actually got a camera here and I've got comments here too. So Nan, hey, my friend Nan, how are you? Nan, I think Nan's followed me or been interacting with me almost the entire time I've been doing this. She's one of my long timers. Hey, Deborah Ryder from Ohio. That's my mom, you guys. She's on. Say hi there. Nan's in Maryland. Awesome. I hope you guys had a wonderful day today. If you were celebrating Father's Day, I hope you had a good time. We actually were about an hour and a half south of here visiting my mother-in-law. That's what my husband wanted to do for Father's Day. We went down and visited my mother-in-law. So that was a good time. I won the mother-in-law lottery. My husband as well has won the mother-in-law lottery, right, Mom? We have some really great women in our family we're very grateful for. So we had a good Father's Day. And then we're going to take some time and go ahead and roll some beads. So what we're going to do today, hey, Winston-Salem, that's where I lived when I first moved from North Carolina. And I'm probably going to butcher your name, but I'm going to attempt it out of respect. Takata, maybe? You have to tell me if I'm right. Eva, hey, Eva from Ohio. Thanks for joining me, you guys. So was that close? Was I close to your pronouncing it right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to use one of the SVG templates that I sell on the website. It is the 19 millimeter round. Now, there's also, if you've not purchased this template, there's also a video on it, which I will go ahead and post after this that I think it gives you the measurements. I usually try to give out the measurements when I do the videos. I almost got it. Okay, well, points for trying, right? So there is a video. So if you want to replicate these and you don't have the SVG file, you can watch the original video I did on this several years ago, and that ought to give you help. But we are going to create two kinds of beads. We're going to do some round 19 millimeter red, white, and blue striped, and then we're going to use this paper, which you can purchase this actual physical paper off my website too if you wanted, or you can buy paper everywhere. You probably have it in your stash, honestly, some kind of patriotic paper that you can replicate what we're doing tonight with. So so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna flip over to my hands cam so that you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, there's our patriotic paper, but we're gonna start with our stripes. So let me put this to the side for the moment. So this is what the beads are gonna look like. So I've alternated the colors, starting with, red, white, and blue, and then just doing them in order. And I actually do have a project for this. I'm hoping that I can do a video for you guys before, in time for 4th of July. But I do have a project in mind for this. But tonight we're just going to be making some of the beads. Oh no, DIY all things. I'm glad you stopped by to say hi, though. It's past midnight where you're at. It's late. It's 7 o'clock here, so. And then we've got people on our West Coast where it's you guys are 4 hours ahead. So Yeah, thank you, Lucy. I love these beads. I think they're so much fun to do and they're not too difficult either. So let's get started. All right. So to make these beads, you're going to need 4 strips of paper. And the first strip, we'll start with our red, since we'll go red, white, and blue. The first strip is not quite a rectangle, but I might need to move this camera up a little just so you can see. Let's see how well that goes. Well, here, that's close. There we go. You can see that this end is just a little bit larger than this end, okay? And again, I have the SVG for this, and it also, if you don't have a cutting machine, that's what the SVGs are for, is like a Cricut. But if you don't have a cutting machine, it also comes with a PDF where you can print it on your home printer. And then you could use it as like a traceable, or you could just print it directly onto your cardstock and cut out on the lines. Now, here's the trick. Round beads, you guys, they are so difficult because if you know anything about paper beading, you know that there's 3 things that impact the shape of the paper bead. It's the shape of the strip, the thickness of the paper, and the diameter of your paper bead roller. So for example, this is one of the thicker diameters, and we're actually going to use the red tonight. See how much thinner that red is? So let me just show you. I did one ahead of time to show you what happens. This was actually done with the peach or orange paper bead roller. And this is one of the ones I did with the red. And they don't look too different, but you can see a subtle difference. See how this is actually a smaller bead? It looks a little oblong on the camera because it's the stripes, but it's actually a little bit rounder. This is a fatter bead, and it's a little oblong. And look at the difference in the holes. So there you can see a little bit more how the diameter of this bead is so much bigger. If you change any of those variables from what I set when I created the SVG, you're not going to get as round of a bead. This bead is actually rounder than this one. Okay, so 65-pound cardstock, you have to watch because our paper industry isn't really that standardized. One person's or one company's 65-pound cardstock is not necessarily the exact weight of another. But the Recollections brand at Michael's that is marked as 65-pound cardstock, that is pretty much what I use. I use that, or I use other ones that are close. So if you have that, you're going to get very close to the same result that I'm getting. Hey, Candy, how are you? She's in Mexico. Congratulations. I believe that you welcomed a grandchild into the world recently. I'm so happy for you. So that's why if you have the SVG and you're having trouble getting this exact round, that's probably it. You got to use the 65-pound cardstock. And then this really works well with some of the lower, I would say anywhere between I'll show them to you, the green, which is the smallest, the red, and the blue is going to get you a pretty round bead with this pattern. So any of these should work, but we're going to use red. The reason I'm choosing red is because the project I have in mind, I need this size. It's what's going to fit the thing I'm going to string them on the best. I don't want too big of a hole where they wobble around, and the green is too small of a hole for the stringing material that I have. So the red actually is perfect for what I'm doing. So that's why I'm using that. Okay, so back to the strips. Hey, Victoria, she's from Wisconsin. Wow, we got people from all over the place tonight. I'm so glad you guys could come join me. I need to do more of these. I think I should try to do a live minimum once a month, if not more. All right, so this is strip 1. And if you just hopped on, I was just saying that there is a video on my YouTube channel, and I'll post a link in the description when we're done to that video that shows you how to roll these beads and talks about all these strips if you need the dimensions. I believe the dimensions are in there. I almost always put dimensions in the videos. This is strip number 2. Oh, we're not going to do red though. We're going to do white for the next one. Here's a white strip of the number 2. And you can see when I cut it out, I wrote 2 on it just to make it easier for me. But this one also is a little bit wider at the top than at the bottom. But look at the magic here. They're exactly the same size. So we're going to be butting these up together as we roll. And if they were the same paper, you would barely even be able to see that seam because they are exactly the same width. All right, so we've got our 1. We'll do this 1 and 2. Then you have strip number 3, even smaller, and this one's going to be blue. Grab a blue one. There's our strip 3. It butts up against strip 2 perfectly. And this is what's creating our stripes. Now, you can make a choice. You can see here that the blue, in this case, the last one, is the thickest strip. And that is because when I picked my 4th, I decided to go ahead and use blue again for the last strip. I did a little bit of testing going back to like a red, but here's the problem. When you get down to these very small strips and you butt the red up to the blue, it does create a line. And because this strip is so thin, the line is very visible and it creates kind of a weird jarring look on the bead. So you could try that with yours. Hey, HMS, good to see you. You can try with yours if you want to switch to a different color and have another color striped down the middle of this. You totally can do it, but that's just not the choice I made for these. Okay, so you've got your 4 strips, and I cut these out with a Cricut machine because I am not the most accurate person with scissors. I do okay, but when I'm actually, you should see. Wait, I'm going to show you. You want to see how many strips I have? This is strip number 1. And I know it's hard to see because I have the camera so close, but I have like hundreds. I've cut hundreds of strips because I'm going to be making almost 200 beads for the project I'm working on. So I had a lot to cut out, and if I hadn't done it with my Cricut, I would still be cutting out. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of these beads. Well, not tonight, but I'll be doing them a lot over the next couple of days. Okay, so we're going to start to roll. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you love the videos. I need to do more. And I'm building by the way, you guys, I'm hiring. If you didn't see, we started interviews last week, but it's not too late. If you are interested in getting on my design team to create video tutorials, we are still open to applications. You can go to the careers page at paperbeadrollers.com. We do pay $75 per 8 to 10 minute video. Get cash. This is not one of those things where you just get, product or something. We actually are paying. And so if you're still interested, you can still apply for that. And we'll be doing, I'm actually going to be at a race this week coming up. So we'll be starting interviews again after this coming week. And we're going to pick somebody right away. We have some very good applicants, but I'd love to see more. I may even bring on 2 people if we find the right 2 people. So, okay. So here we go. So we're going to start rolling. If you're new to paper bead rolling, let me just talk about this. So these are my I have 2 versions of paper bead rollers. And of course I didn't bring a wooden one to show, but I have ones with a wooden handle, which are my older ones. And then I have these ones right here with the, this is a plastic handle, but it's made out of corn. So it does not add, plastic to the world forever. It does eventually biodegrade. So I want to make sure we were eco-friendly. But it is to me, this is a much more comfortable handle. I mean, the wooden ones are great, but that's why I made these, to make it more comfortable. As I get older, my arthritis gets more and more in my way. Also, can I just tell you, my cat, Orangey, I have a video I'll have to post. He was playing in my bead strips and I was trying to stop him and he got me with his claw. So hopefully that won't stop me from rolling. Okay. So what you do is you get a tool like this, and there's a little slot in this metal piece. And so I am going to slot the wider end of my strip right into there. Now, it does not matter if you roll away from yourself or if you roll towards yourself. Hold on, I got to put on my glasses before we go further. You can roll away or you can roll toward. It really doesn't make any difference in terms of the final look of the bead. And actually, when I am rolling a lot of beads, like I'm going to be doing over the next week or so, I will go back and forth because it helps you use different muscles. I feel like I get a little less fatigued. Now with this bead, you're going to want to try to center it. All of these, you're going to want to center them as much as possible. So if you see one side, it's a very slight turn. I don't know how well you guys can see it. There's just a very slight piece poking out. And so you want to get it as centered as possible. And then when you get to the end, you're going to glue. Now, all you need for this is white school glue. That's it. You don't need anything fancy. You can go to the dollar store and get it. Paper bead rolling is not an expensive hobby generally. You can, use stuff you have around the house. Everybody's usually got some kind of school glue. You can use it right out of the school glue bottle. You don't need this fancy needle nose one, although I love them. Just put a little bit on. And the thicker your paper, the more you're going to have to hold down the flap until the glue holds it. So this is kind of thick. It's just going to take a second to stay in place. All right. Yeah, there we go. And that is the first one. Now, get a towel to wipe the glue. One thing is you are definitely going to want to keep the glue off your fingers. If I'm rolling a ton of beads again, I'll usually keep like a wet paper towel like this to wipe off my fingers, because when the glue starts to dry in your fingers, it almost gets, what would you guys call it? Is it like, it's like the little hair. It almost comes out like little hairs and it'll stick to the finished beads. So you want to try to keep wiping your fingers if you're doing a lot of rolling. Okay, so that's just strip number one. Now we'll go to our strip number two. So here's the part that's a little, you got to get right, because you will see this on the finished bead if you don't line it up just right. You've been doing them for about 2 years. Oh, you know, if you are not in the paper, I don't know if you do Facebook, but if you do the Paper Bead Fanatics Facebook group, you can go in there and post pictures of your stuff. We love, I actually don't post my stuff in there as much because I want it to be a place to highlight you guys. So you can go join Paper Bead Fanatics on Facebook and post your pictures in there. We'd love to see what you do. That's how, a lot of times that's how I get inspiration. You guys think of the most creative things that I don't even think about. So I always ask though, if I'm going to like use it in a video, I will always ask you. Okay, so you can see right here, I'm lining up bead 2 and I'm trying to get it as perfect as I can against the edge of this bead. So it's not overlapping. It's, I just moved it. It's not overlapping. It's right even. Okay, right butted up against. And you want to hold it here for a minute. Let it stick. So you can, I mean, you can go ahead and roll it. Every time I move, I'm moving it. It's because I'm on camera. You can go ahead and roll it, but I find that if I let the glue, this is bowed and it's puffing up, that's why. If I let the glue dry for just a minute, that it stays in place a little better and I get a better finished look. Okay, I'm gonna hold still now. Give it just a second. Okay, that's probably good. And now I'm gonna go ahead and roll. Oh, you can see it's not, I moved it again. There we go. I'm gonna roll bead 2. And you can kind of hold it in place if you end up having to move it a little. See? There we go. Oh, moving it too much. Put a little more glue. This is the thing with live. You get to see me do all the mistake stuff that I can edit out of a regular. I'm busted. Trust me, I'm far from perfect. All right, we're going to leave it for a second. And then once it stays in place, we're going to roll. Okay. It's moving a little. Okay, I want to show you this mistake. So it started to move and it gapped a little. If it starts gapping, let me see if you can see that. If it starts gapping like that, you are going to be able to see that in your finished bead. So make sure. Okay, I think it's going to work this time. And it doesn't normally take this long when I'm rolling. It goes really fast. It's just being on camera and trying to show you guys everything takes a little more effort. Okay, I think we got it. So I'm going to roll. And you can see sometimes I'll put my fingers like this and roll to keep things really centered if I'm having a hard time centering it. Like right now, I'm trying to hold it flat for the camera and so it's not tilted towards me, which makes it really hard to tell if I'm centering things. But it's better for you guys to see. So I'm a little off on the bottom, but that's okay. We're going to keep going with it. So you just roll it till you get to the end. And also, this is very forgiving craft. I mean, you can absolutely kind of move the layers around a little bit when you're done. All right, there we go. And we're going to roll this end. So I usually just put the glue on like maybe the last 1/4 inch. If it's a really thick paper I'm using, I'll put the glue maybe a whole inch just to hold a little better. There's nothing worse than getting a bead done and putting it off of your roller and it springs open. Yeah, that's so much fun. So if you're just joining us, I see there's a lot of people on here, way more than has said hello. Make sure you say hello. Put your name in the comment or put where you're from. Just say hi. I'd love to say hi to you. Okay, that's strip 2. Now we're going to do our blues. So here's strip 3. And again, if you've just come on, I have put links up in the top of the chat and in the description of the video of the templates that I'm using here. And I was also telling everyone there is a video on this particular bead style that I did a couple of years ago on my YouTube channel. And I will also add that into the description when we get done with this. But this is the round 19 millimeter. That particular template pack comes with multiple sizes. This is the largest size in that template pack. So I'm going to add some, and we're getting ready to do strip 3. Now, another trick that I'll give to you guys is I will use the strip to just sort of spread the glue out a little bit while I'm doing this, and that way I get glue on both sides. So again, we want to get this as exact as possible. No gaps between the white and the blue. We're going to just let it sit there for a second until the glue pulls together. Donna, Vicky, hey! So good to see you guys. Vicky, I just want to tell you I loved what you sent me. I won't spill any secrets, but I love it. All right, I'm going to get that in there. Make sure it's as flat as possible and butted right up to the edge. Angel from Indiana. Hey, oh good, you subscribed. That's awesome. Did you guys notice? Well, I don't think you can see the numbers anymore. We only need 39 people to reach 12,000 subscribers. So if you could share this video or share my channel with people that you think would love to do paper beads that would subscribe, that would be awesome. I would love to hit 12,000 subscribers. All right. And you can see when it gets around again, right there is where the seam of where the blue and the white hit. So you can kind of see it on this one side. And with this bead, you are, because we're doing solid color blocking, you are going to see possibly the transition. But it's not so obvious until you get down to this last part. And like I said, that's why I'm choosing to do blue in my last strip, so that it matches this strip. Okay. We're almost done. This is strip 3. My glue. I don't have my, I messed up my glue cup is over on my other desk and I don't want to go get it while I'm on live. So, all right, we're just going to hold that in place just a little bit. Till we're sure it's there. Okay, that looks like it's going to hold. And we're going to do the last strip. And this is our teeny tiny little guy. There we go. Same deal. Butt it up right close. Don't overlap your strips. Put them right up against each other and let it dry for a second. Now this normally goes really fast. When I'm doing this, I can do this bead in, I should time myself. I mean, it's probably, I'm not even gonna guess. It's really fast. I get through these beads so quick. It's going slow because I'm showing you everything, but these beads actually do go very quickly. That's part of why I like using the cardstock. Somebody used to call me the cardstock queen because everything I did was with cardstock, but I like the thickness of it. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Lucy. I appreciate it. Okay, and this is our last strip. So we're going to give this a second just to solidify up. And it's a little misshapen. Not much, but to my eyes it is. So I'm going to show you what I can do, especially with these round ones, what I'll do to fix that. So when I pull it off, oh, and by the way, see, look at all these little pieces of glue because I'm not wiping my hand it up. Let me get it wet. Okay, there we go, all clean. So when I pop these off, I always try to be really careful and make sure I'm putting my fingernail right at the base of the bead and pop it off. Because if you grab them like this and try to pull them, you can shift the layers. And I noticed that this red side is out a little more than the other side. But if you just like roll it in your hand, like if you've ever done a meatball or a cookie or something like where you roll dough in your hand, a lot of times that will help even it up. It didn't quite all the way. So I'm just going to push on my layers a little bit. You can also roll it on the table a little if you like and try to get it rounded up a little bit more. But also remember, this is a handcraft. And what is one of the beautiful things about handcrafting? One of the beautiful things about handcrafting is that everything is a little bit different. And so I'm not always, I know there are some people who are very specific about like getting this last little tag centered perfectly. I don't know. I tend to be a little sloppier with mine, I guess, because I just feel like each of them has their own unique kind of feeling. So that's it. That's how you do the first bead that we're doing tonight, the stripes. Is you just take and make sure each strip that you're going to use in a multi-strip bead is a different color and you put them together. So there's a couple different beads I have that you can do this with. You can do it with this round one. You can do it with Euro beads. There's I forget what it's called now, the two-tone bead. Anything that has multiple strips to the design of the beads, you can do this with. So how about that? I'm loving these. So here's how they look if you were not on earlier when I showed. My plan, I have to make, I think it's 183 of these for the project that I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to alternate, and every bead I do, I'm going to start with red, then the next one I'm going to start with white, then the next one I'm going to start with blue until I get through all of my strips so that I have even numbers of them. And don't you think, I think they're going to look really pretty all lined up, you know, with like red, white, and blue all kind of lined up. And I've got them this way. That might be a clue to what I'm doing. It's not jewelry. I'm not making jewelry, by the way. I'm making kind of like a decoration. So, all right, there you go. So hopefully that will be out there. Oh, I missed a couple comments. We got Sheila from West Virginia. Hello, Sheila. Learning how to make round beads. Yeah, that round beads are tough, man. I've been trying for years to come up with a really good like formula for how you would know what kind of strips to use to make a round bead. And it is so difficult, even for me. Like it took me a long time to get this SVG right. And like I said, I showed you in the beginning, there's so many ways. If you have any variable that's different than what I'm showing you, your beads are not going to come out round. So, but that is the nature of what we do. So, okay, ready for the next bead? All right, so this one's going to be a little more fun. So this is paper. And again, you don't have to use this exact paper. Like there are so many patriotic papers out there. You probably have some already in your stash. And I'm a big proponent of using what you have on hand so that nothing goes to waste. But if you want this, you can purchase. I still have some of these. A couple years ago, I did 12 months of custom design paper. It was a subscription you could get. And I hand designed, I actually watercolor painted these stars, and then I digitized them and put the paper together. And so I have 12 different papers on the website that you can purchase, either single sheets or you can do packs of 10. And I believe there is a mix and match where you can get 20 sheets at a very slight discount, I think, and mix and match all the different patterns. So the cool thing about this paper is you'll see that the stars are really, really tiny at this end. And they get bigger as you get to this end. So what that means, let me get some strips I cut. And for this bead, we're just using 1/2-inch triangle strips. So these are just your normal 1/2-inch triangles. They do not, this bead does not have multiple strips in one, but we are going to use more than one strip per bead. So you can see that and this is the way my standard triangles SVG is set up. If you have this one that you're going to use on your Cricut or Brothers Scan and Cut or Silhouette or whatever cutting machine you have, the way you position your strip on the page when you cut it, or even if you're hand cutting with these, is going to dictate what the end look of the bead is going to be. So when we roll a bead and we use this one, There's going to be more variation in color toward the center of our bead because the smaller stars were at this side. When we start rolling with one that has the small stars at this end, you're going to have more variation at the outer edges, the two outer edges of your bead, and then it's going to end up being like the center of your bead is actually going to be a blue stripe. You're actually going to end up with like a red stripe, a little bit of white and blue, and then a red stripe, and then white, and then blue. So you'll see when we do this. But here's the thing. If I roll, this is very thin pattern paper. So if I roll just one of these beads, it's going to end up being a long, thin bead. I actually want thicker beads because I want them smaller than this, but I want them to complement this bead and sort of fit in between. So I'm going to try, I haven't actually worked this out in my head yet, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try rolling 3 strips together. Now, here's a little tip. This especially works well with paper that has white in it because you've got white edges. This does not work as well with dark paper, but you could, if you wanted to, cut plain white strips out of cardstock and then layer them, because that's what I'm going to do right now. Is I'm actually going to stack 3 of these thin pieces together to try to get the size of the bead I want. But I could just cut out white triangles, the exact dimensions of these, and layer a white cardstock with my colored paper over top. That also helps you stretch your pattern paper a little further. So Lucy, I might at the end of the live, if you guys stick around to the end, because that helps me out a lot, you guys, in terms of traction on the channel. If you'll stick around to the end, I'll show you what I'm going to make in the video. How about that? Just because you're curious. I did not tell what the project is yet, Nan, but I will. If you guys stick around to the end, I'll tell you what the project is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of these strips and I'm going to stack them. Now, you can try to glue these together. I don't, because these papers are going to shift as we roll them. And I like them to be able to freely shift. You could try gluing them. Some people do that. Also, oh, they did fit. So this is a very small slit. Sometimes if you get, like if I used a 65 cardstock with this paper, it may not fit in there. So you might have to either go up a size or you might have to use your finger to hold it if you can't fit everything in the slot. The other trick is if you push the top piece out a little, so I'm going to push it out. See right there, I'm pushing out just a little, and you put that in the slot and you use that to hold down the ones underneath. That is another trick for if your slot is too small. So I've got so many tricks. I need to put all my tricks in one place because right now they're sort of like dispersed among 10 years of videos as I learned the tricks and taught them to you guys. I need to do like a big trick compilation. Okay, so I'm going to roll this. I'm going to keep them centered. Like I said, that's a little hard from the angle I'm rolling at, but I want to keep it even for you guys, so I may have to adjust a little. So because I've got 3 strips stacked together, it is going to make this bead a little chunkier. It's not going to be round, but it is going to be, I don't know, maybe a little, I don't know if I'd call it a pill, maybe. Like a pill bead. And you can see all of the bits of color all over the place. Okay, now when you're doing beads like this, and it has multiple strips, what I like to do, there's 2 ways to do this. And this is really, if you want to look at this more at this technique, I talk about it a lot in the video that I did on saucer beads. If you look at my saucer bead video on my channel, I have a lot of detail about using multiple strips and how to make them look neat at the end. So there's a couple ways to do this. This is the perfectionist way that I normally don't do, but I'll show you. And then we'll do another bead and I'll show you the messy way. So you can put glue on each of the 3. I hear thunder, you guys. I hope my internet doesn't go out. And just lay them down one at a time. We'll lay this out so it gets as perfect as possible. So if you want beads that look as perfect as possible and you're using multiple strips, when you get to the end, put glue on each of the 3 strips separately and lay them down. All right, and so this is like a, I guess it's really a bicone. It's just a fat bicone bead. So let's see what that looks like. Woo! Throwing beads. So if I string these together, actually, they're going to go like this, I think, in my final project. And then this goes in between. See, look at that. That's like the perfect fit. That's what what I was hoping for, is to get something that fit kind of perfectly in between these to take up some space. And then there'll be 4 more on this side, possibly. I know I'm giving you hints. Am I not awful? Hey, Kimberly, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you love the templates and the bead rollers. So it's gonna look something like this in the final project, but there's gonna be tons of them. Because I don't think Sally's on right now. I know if you guys met Sally in a few videos ago, my assistant, we had to do a ton of math the other day to figure out how many beads we needed for this particular project. It was hilarious. She's much better at math than I am. But yeah, I think I need 300 of these little beads. Almost 400 of these little beads. So I'm going to be doing a lot of rolling, me and Sally. All right, we're going to do another one of those. Sophia, hey, it's so good to see you. All right, let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Let's see. Oh, DML, thanks you're still here. Yay. How much time does it take? You know, I was trying to figure that out earlier. I mean, I was doing some last night at like midnight and they were going so fast that I was shocked. I mean, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. I'll time myself and I'll see if I can post it in a comment under this video when it goes out. I'll time myself. All right, so now this time I'm just going to grab the ones that have the larger stars at the top, at the wider part. And again, I'm stacking 3. And actually, if you want, I'll do a bunch of strips after this one so you can see maybe we'll try to get a round one. We'll see if we can get enough strips to get a round bead. It's probably going to be a saucer, but we'll try it. Okay, so I'm stacking up my 3. And this time I'll show you the messy way to do them at the end. Messy, but faster. Let's put it that way. So if you're somebody with not a lot of patience, like me, you'll like the messy way. Oh. Okay. Make sure if you haven't popped in and said hi, say hi in the chat. I would love to say hi to you. And again, if you guys want to share this video or share my channel with people who you think would enjoy paper beading, I'm so close to getting 12,000 subscribers. It would just make my heart sing if you could help me get there. That would be awesome. Okay. All right, so we're at the end. We've got our 3 ends. And this time what I'm going to do is I am just going to smear a bunch of glue. I told you it's the messy way. And then I'm going to sort of like stick these together. So you don't even have to, when you're using thin paper with this, you don't even have to make sure the glue gets on each one because it soaks through the paper. If you're using a thicker paper with this method, you might have to. And then you can just roll it like it's one piece. But this does tend to be messy. Like this particular one actually turned out very neat. But sometimes when I do that, I'll have like a little tip going off to the side, or, you know, it won't be as neat as the method I showed you the first time. But it looks the same in the end. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Giovanna. So good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Sophia, have you taught any paper beading classes lately? Sophia teaches paper bead classes. She posts some pictures in Paper Bead Fanatics of some of her classes. It's been really neat to watch. Okay, now we're going to try something. I don't know how this one's going to work out. We're just going to give it a shot. Let's see how many strips I have left right here. I've got more down here, but on the table we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips. We're going to roll all 6 of these together and see what kind of bead we get. I probably need to use a larger roller. While I'm picking a roller, I want you guys to vote. Should I start with the small star at the top or the big star at the top? Which one do you want to see as the topmost layer? Small star, big star. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Small star or big star? I think we'll use a blue. Small star or big star? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to wait for you to see what you guys vote for. Small star, big star. Oh, Sophia's going to do 2 classes at the beginning of July. Nice. Angel says small star. Anybody else have a vote? DIY says small star. Vicky says small. Oh, I think we might be unanimous, you guys. Sophia says small. Okay. That's good. We'll do the small. Small star at the top. Okay. So I've got 6 here. This is going to be a little hard to manage. We're going to give it a shot. Don't say I never did anything brave on a live. All right, so I'm going to switch to the blue roller just because the green roller is not going to be able to handle 6 strips very well. Oh, Donna went back the other way to Big Star. Okay, so I'm going to try to get all 6 of these. And it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get all 6 into my slot. So I'm going to use the trick I told you guys about earlier. Oh, Lucy, it's your first video. I'm so glad you found me. Okay, so I'm going to take the top, I'm probably going to do 3 at least because I think I got 4. So the top 4 strips, and I'm going to slide them out just that much, just that little much, because those are going to fit into my slot. And then the tension that I put on those are going to trap the other papers underneath so that they don't slip. See? So even though I had 6 papers and it wouldn't fit in the slot, I can very easily make that work just by sliding those top few papers forward and putting those in the slot. So that's your trick. All right. Any bets? How round is this going to end up? I don't know. It actually is looking fairly round. We might have found a secret. Uh-oh. So right there, I don't know if it's slipping. I think some of mine are slipping because I'm getting an odd shape. So what I'm going to do is unroll just a little and pull the 6. So this is why multiple strips can be difficult. I think some of my lower strips slipped just a little and it created a gap in the bead. Okay, we got it. So that's the other thing. Remember how I told you they slip? So all 6 of these strips are a different length. And so in this one, I'm going to use the neat version because there's just too many. I may put a couple together and do them at once. Like these 2 long ones, I'll go ahead and glue these together and push those over. And there we go. And then this next one can go next 2, look like they might be able to go together without causing too much of a mess. So I'll flip these over. Oh, get enough on there. There we go. Okay, I got 2 in that. You can see they're not, oh, there we go. It flipped off anyway. Sorry, I'm not looking at comments just quite right now, but I'll look in a second once I get these all glued down. Oh, a small American flag. That's your guess is what I'm making? Not exactly. No. That would be good, though. You could actually do that with this. If I were going to do that, though, I might just do the striped beads with the blue and the white. To make it match a little more to the flag. Okay, see, this is a little messy. You can tell these, I'm getting little pieces kind of everywhere, but you can't really see it on this particular pattern. Let me get some water from my fingers. You can't see it so much on this pattern. So. Well, it's not round. It's a little bit diamondy, maybe. Almost, if I had another strip or 2, it would be a saucer, I think. It would have gone saucer-ish. So it's not really round. It's still bicone, but it's a very fat bicone. So that was with 6 strips of just normal pattern, thin pattern paper like you normally get. There you go. All right, let's see. What time is it? All right, we've been on 44 minutes. So, and I've gotten them all. So let me just review, and then I'm going to reveal what the project's going to be because you guys, so many of you have stayed on. This is awesome. Thanks, Sophia. I like it too. I like chunky beads. All right, so what we did, to recap, is we used the SVG cutting pattern that I have on the website. You can, again, if you don't have a cutting machine, you can also, it comes with a PDF that you can print on your home printer right onto your paper and then cut out. So this is the 65-pound, and if you roll up to the top of the chat, I think I put the link in there, and I also put it in the description of the video so you can see it. But this is the 65-pound round bead template. And I will, after this is over and it publishes, I will put the link to the video I did originally on this bead. That template comes with, I think, three different sizes of beads, both of them smaller than this. This is the biggest one. So we did that. And the way we got the stripes is we cut the strips out of different colored paper and rolled them. Okay. And so you can go back and watch. This live will be out there for you to watch later if you need to go back and see what I did. Then we took, and give me a second, I can grab these strips. They're on the floor, out of the way. Here we go. So we took triangle strips of my Patriotic Stars paper, and these are just 1/2 inch at the top, this 1/2 inch by the 12 inch of the paper. And we rolled 3 strips to get this size bead. And we rolled 6 strips to get this size bead. I'm actually not, I don't think, going to be using this size in my project. I just need this size. And I'll show you again why, what I was going for is I wanted a bead that when I have these two up against each other, let's see if I can hold them in place, if they don't roll away from me like this. I wanted a bead that could sort of like fit in between like this, because I'll have 2 more on this side. So I was looking for something that would sort of lock in so there wasn't a lot of gaps in between them. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to need, I think, almost 200. I think it was 183 of these and like almost 400 of these for this project. So I don't know if we're going to get it done in time for 4th of July. I'll post it anyway. I should have started this project like weeks ago. But now I will reveal to you. Hey, Roberta, how are you? And Gustavo, hi. It's so good to see you guys. Giovanna says it needs longer stripes to be rounded. Yeah, the stripes do make it look a little less round. Hey, Bex. Hey, Bex. How are you? Bex from the UK. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. Like, if you have one, let me see. Do I have one that doesn't have stripes handy? If I could grab one that I've made from a solid color, I would show you it. It looks much rounder. The stripes throw it off a little bit. They throw off the look. It doesn't look as round with the stripes. But if you do this in solid color, it does look almost perfectly round. But, you know, that's what stripes do to our body too, right? They actually make us look more round. Yes, DIY 600 roll paper beads. So I'm going to be recruiting Sally and possibly Sally's children to help me roll these beads. But I'm also doing a 9-hour drive on Wednesday, of which some of it I will be working on my computer, but a lot of it I will be rolling beads. So it's going to be fun stuff. So we'll see what I can get done. So some of you have just joined us and we're kind of at the tail end, but once this publishes, you'll be able to go back and see everything that we did to create our lovely patriotic beads. And now I'm going to show you, I might have to move the camera a little or possibly switch to my other camera. I'm going to show you. Ready? So this is going to be a decorative item. Let's see if I can move my camera up a little. So I bought this at the dollar store. This was $1.25 because it's now Dollar Tree is now $1.25. But I saw this gorgeous little star frame and I thought that is perfect. So my plan is to do possibly the smaller beads here on the wire frames. Oops, you can't see it. The smaller beads here on the wire frames and then the larger beads in the gaps. And they should all kind of lock together to create just this gorgeous star decoration. And you could use this as a wreath. It's a little small for a wreath. I'd say it's about 1 foot square, maybe slightly larger. So you could use it as a wreath. You could put a stand on it and have it sit up as a decoration, like on a table. I think would be really cute. Or you could even put a candle in the middle of it and use it as a candle holder. So I think there's a lot of uses for this. So I don't know. I think I bought this last year at Dollar Tree. So they may not have these this year, but I'm sure they have something similar because Dollar Tree constantly has different wreath frames. So they may have something very similar to it this year. But I like to go to Dollar Tree and just look for things that I can decorate. There's a couple other things I have that I want to do some home decor stuff with. That's one of the biggest requests that I get from you guys. I mean, a lot of us like jewelry, but you know, it's kind of like paper beading is a one craft, making jewelry is a whole separate craft with a whole separate skill set. So not everybody who does paper beads wants to make jewelry out of it. Or they'll do the easier stuff like stretchy bracelets and stuff. So they want to have other projects like home decor projects that they can do. And so definitely trying to get you guys some of that stuff. So, oh, I hope you guys like it. Hey, Julie, how are you? Good to see you. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I don't, you know, sometimes I start these projects and I start filming the video and showing the steps. And then the end result that I get is not at all the end result that I thought I was going to get. But I think this one is going to look pretty cute. So let me switch the camera back to this camera. Hey, so let me give you a better idea of how big this is. If you can see it on this, that's how big it is. So it's bigger than my head. So I think it'll make a nice little wreath. But that's it. That's what I had planned for you guys tonight. So I think it's awesome that you came and hung out with me and saw my new project. I hope I can get this done. I guess it won't be done in time for you to actually do it for 4th of July because that's really close, like 2 weeks. But maybe you'll get to at least see it so you can plan it for next year. If you have any other questions, oh, here we go. Sophie's got a question. How are you planning to get the beads on the wire, or will you glue them? Oh, you have the frame. Oh, you should do one too. You should do one too, and then we can both have something similar. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but we could both have stars. Yeah, that's a great question. If I were gonna glue this, here's the thing. Hot glue actually might be the fastest way to do this and the easiest way to do this, because if you try to wire these on, I think it's going to be harder to get everything spaced evenly. And I think with this kind of project, having them spaced evenly is a really good idea. So what I might do is string the beads and then hot glue them in place. And that way you kind of have both. You've got the string keeping them together. Because have you guys ever had a wreath? Like I have this amazing berry wreath, and it's got these little fake plastic berries that it's made out of. But those things pop off constantly. And I feel like if I were to just glue the beads and not string them, that they would be popping off. So I think I'm going to string it and then also hot glue. I also might paper this. So if I wrap some clear or some white paper over this and then hot glue, I think that will also give the hot glue a little bit more to bond to keep this lasting longer. So I'm still kind of thinking about that, but you will see is when the video comes out which way I go. But I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do is string them, paper this, and hot glue it. The other thing I could do is I have a bunch of styrofoam and stuff, so I could like stuff the back with styrofoam, but I don't know. That was just popped in my head. Okay, it could be for a different holiday if the colors were different. Absolutely. Stars do not have to just be patriotic. You could use different colors and do different holidays. Absolutely. Lucy, thank you so much. Giovanna, you would wire them. You know what would really work well? Like not jewelry wire, but floral wire. Because floral wire, you know, what you would normally do a wreath with, but I guess I think of jewelry wire when I think jewelry. But the floral wire is so flexible that that's going to help you like get them right where you want them. So I may try, what I usually do for these videos is I'll try a couple techniques and see which one works best. And then I tear it apart and then film the one that works best for you guys. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Lucy. Aluminum wire, Giovanna. Yes. And is that what floral wire is? Is it made out of aluminum? I don't think it is. So I don't know. But yeah, so that's the plan. So we'll see if I can get this video done for you guys. Sally is probably going to kill me because she's going to have really sore fingers by the time this is done. But hey, you know, it's fun. It's softer on the hand, aluminum wire. Okay. I like aluminum wire. I use it for a bunch of stuff. I have a whole big spool of it over here. And it's so easy to cut too, which is nice. It doesn't go flying off like some other wire. Oh, okay. Floral wire is made of iron. Yeah, a lot of them are made of iron and then like coated. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, it was wonderful to spend a little time with you this Sunday. I will schedule another live in a few weeks. We'll do some more beads and chit chat a little bit and get to spend some time together. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and you've got a wonderful week coming up. Take care, and I will see you soon. Make sure you subscribe. Help me hit 12,000. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, take care.